Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bladed Tech Show. I am your host, Austin Belzer. If you didn't already know that, I'm sorry for you. Yesterday night, um, I watched Avengers Age of Ultron. Because Civil War is out. I haven't seen it as of this recording. Civil War's not out by the time it's recording, but whatever, right? But I figured I'd record some things, my thoughts on Age of Ultron, given this is my third or fourth viewing and that I have a basic understanding of what is happening. So, I've got a whole laundry list of stuff here. I've got a full entire page. So there will be spoilers for the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe in this one video. So if you've not watched anything, if you're not up to date on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, be it the TV shows, the movies, the comics. Well, I'm not up to date on the comics, but if you're not up to date on the canon, what the canon is, you may want to turn this off because I'm going to talk about Iron Man 3. I'm going to talk about Agent Shield, Agent Carter, Captain America. I'm talking the entire cinematic universe, past, present, and future. So, with the exception of Civil War, because I haven't seen that. And some stuff from season 3 that I haven't seen yet. So, because cable sucks. So let's get right into it. A lot of these points will be broad enough to where you won't get spoiled, but these are just some notes I jotted down after watching the movie. And I still believe this the next day, so that should tell you how I feel. I actually really like Avengers Age of Ultron. It's way better than Avengers. I get shit for that. Everyone says Age of Ultron's the fucking worst. And then I present to you Iron Man 2. You think Age of Ultron's bad? Compare the two. Iron Man 2? No. Iron Man 2, Avengers Age of Ultron. Just saying. Age of Ultron is about B+. Iron Man 2 is about a D. So don't even try and say that Age of Ultron's it's whatever. If any part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is bad, it's Jessica Jones. But that's neither here nor there. So we'll get into it. So we start off with Baron Von Strucker and Dr. List. And if that train doesn't shut the fuck up, thanks. It probably won't, but whatever. So these are two bad guys that we've been introduced to in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That we kind of know about, that they were kind of coy with in season 2, where they're like, hey, these guys are gonna be on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They'll be a main force of season 2. They ended up being big pussies, but we get that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. connection, which is nice. However, the Age of Ultron doesn't make a lot of connections to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, even at the end when the helicarrier's coming up from the ground, like from seemingly nowhere, and Nick Fury's just like, "Hey, got you." But we never see Coulson. We never see any of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that are still remaining. We just see the people we know from S.H.I.E.L.D. The people that the film fans will know from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, you're honestly telling me that Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, Hulk, all of them cannot figure out that Coulson is still alive after, let's see, Battle of New York 2012, in this proposed timeline, right? Because I think this is all happening in real time. So Age of Ultron, 2014, 2015-ish. That's 2-3 years. You're honestly gonna tell me in that somewhere in there, Captain America or even Iron Man wasn't told, "Hey, Coulson's alive, motherfuckers! I lied to you." Um, we just needed him to think that because he's gonna be evil, and because we don't want to connect you to Agent Shield at all, because I don't like that company. I'm thinking as like the director here. But it just feels like it's very that the Marvel Cinematic Universe does not work if all things don't interconnect. The hashtag "it's all connected" does not mean anything if you just throw it around and don't follow through. Unless you're like the only time that someone from the cinematic universe ever comes in is Lady Sif or Maria Hill, or even maybe Dr. Selvig, or like one of the lesser characters. Those are the biggest names I can remember. And General Thunderbolt Ross, he comes in there too. But my main thing is use Agent Shield to show us some cool stuff, but also be like, hey, Iron Man knows that Coulson's alive, and he's fucking pissed at Fury, even though he died to protect that information. But whatever. And also, another problem I have with just the title is it's not really an age, per se. It's more like a few months. For something to be an age, let me explain this to you. For something to be an age, it has to be a long period of time. This is my problem with The Dark Knight Rises as well. They're talking about Bane has ruled over this land for so fucking long that it's just become overrun. It's this post-apocalyptic Mad Max fucking world. But the truth is like he's been gone 3-4 months. Okay, not really that long. You should expect better of your citizens. Government. So for a film to be called Age of Ultron, we need to see he's fucking ruling over these people with an iron fist. And we need to see him like some Mussolini types. That would be really interesting. For them to have. And they just throw it away. They're like, we see him one time in a chair, like with a hood on, and he's just like this. He's just like, there are no strings on me, and he just sits there like, what? Who the fuck are you? And there's actually a deleted scene where this little kid, they name him Costal in this movie, where he's like, hey, you're doing all this nice stuff for us. And you kind of see that, like, Cold War vibe going on. And then you see this little kid. So it couldn't be 7, 8 years old. It couldn't be more than 7 or 8 years old. And he's like, Iron Man's in the fucking building. Well, he doesn't say that exactly, but that's the basic gist of what he said. He's like, the man in the church told me to come and get you to deliver this message. And they're like, what man? And they're like, the Iron Man. What the fuck? And that's like a what the fuck moment. And I'll get to that later. But that's my main problem with the movie. Is it's like, all the deleted scenes and extended cuts actually work. And this is a sad byproduct of what Joss Whedon was forced to cut. Because that was like, we don't fucking understand that Thor needs to get these Infinity Stones. We don't understand that. Even though you've been building for that for like 6 years. We don't understand. But we don't fucking understand that because we're fucking imbeciles. I'm sorry, but if you don't understand what the fuck is going on by now, when you see Age of Ultron and the 5 things, and Thanos grabbing a gauntlet with 5 things, and then you see 5 gems. What more do you need explained? Seriously, what the fuck? So, I also have another problem with this movie. I'm sorry I'm clapping so much. Sorry. I'm really amped. Probably should have had less coffee today. This movie should be Civil War by all accounts. Or even if it, or should I should rephrase that. It shouldn't be Civil War. It should be the inciting incident for Civil War, because everything we've seen for the trailers for Civil War is that Falcon gets shot out of the fucking sky. And that's the inciting incident for Iron Man. But for the government, the inciting incident is, hey, you're blowing up a lot of shit. The people, the citizens, don't like that. I have a big problem with that, but I'll reserve judgment for Captain America Civil War until I actually see it. So, what's more compelling for an inciting incident of Captain America Civil War than you built an AI that, without our knowledge, without oversight, you built a human android without our knowledge, and also that AI that you built or stole from like Hydra, it murdered like an entire fucking city. Like that should be the crux of Civil War, not the so Bucky blew up the UN. Oh, you're blowing up a lot of stuff. Don't do that. Oh, you shot Falcon out of the sky. Like that shouldn't be. That's a weak, flimsy argument. Now I don't know if that's truly the inciting incident. This is the way the trailers are making it look. But wouldn't that be much more interesting than like Tony's out of control? Would be a much more exciting prospect than, hey, the Avengers are out of control. When Captain America's like, what the fuck? Right? What the fuck, man? Like, I've been controlling these people. Like, if anything, the blame should be on Iron Man, not Captain America, who's taking every chance to save every possible human or otherwise. Same with Thor, same with Hawkeye. Really, the crux is Hulk and Iron Man. And we'll get to Hulk later. But next we need to get to the twins. The Maximoff twins. They are... So, I don't know how they're used in Civil War. Scarlet Witch is used for Civil War. R.I.P. Quicksilver. We'll get to him in a moment. They're not useful in a fight. Because every time we see them outside the main, this is everything coming to a climax battle, they're always like, you okay? You always see them fatigued. And the problem with that is, what if you're, like, Crossbones is in the new movie. Captain America Civil War, that is. How is she gonna go up against that guy if she can't take on the entire Avengers without being like, like, without just, like, being tired? Like, how do you not... Like, do they develop, like, a super serum off screen? And they're like, okay, we're gonna inject you with this. Okay, now you can magically do whatever you want. Like, your metabolism's raised. Boom. I would even be fine with that. Honestly, even if it's bullshit, I would be fine with it. But no, we're just like left with, oh, she can suddenly do whatever she wants now. She can now turn her hair from like red to blonde or some shit. That was the most annoying shit in that movie. Also, back to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. connection. Show us more enhanced. This is a perfect opportunity for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Age of Ultron to mesh and do good things. But it doesn't do that. What it does is it says, oh, we've been fighting all these enhanced people, but we've never seen anyone like them. While Age of S.H.I.E.L.D., they got like Victor Creel. They've got like Hive. They've got all these interesting creatures, Why can't you have Iron Man come on? I mean, have even like Hawkeye come on and be like, yeah, we've been facing this guy. We need to figure out how to, have like one episode to connect the two. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Ugh. And that guy. All right. Thanks. Thanks. Great. And also, I want to talk about Quicksilver for a moment. He sucks in this movie. Age of Ultron fucking sucks. The version of him. He just comes off as a cocky asshole. Where in Days of Future Past, he's like, yeah, he's cocky, but he's a fun asshole. He's like, you know what? He's annoying, but yeah, we kind of like him. He's like a redheaded stepchild. No pun intended. Whereas Age of Ultron, he's just like a jerk. He's just like, oh, you didn't see that coming. And they use it like 4 times. I counted. I'm like, oh, fuck you. Fuck you. So that needed an all Quicksilver scenes. Ooh, I've got the god hand. Needed a bit more workshopping. Also, I know this will probably be answered in Civil War. A lot of this will probably be answered in Civil War or seen in Civil War. Where is Spidey? What has he been doing for the past 2 years or whatever, however long he's been operating? Are they just gonna be like, oh yeah, I was amazing Spider-Man. I took on the Lizard. But then you'd have to include Sony canon in there. But, what are they gonna explain him? Because I was looking at the Battle of New York sign. I was like, do you think Spider-Man could have shown up in there? Do you think they'll retcon him and Batman v Superman and put him somewhere where the camera wasn't looking or something? That seems to be the case, right? But I want to see Spider-Man. So I just put that in. Also, we need more manipulation / dream sequences. We get some great scenes with Captain America, Black Widow. We don't see Hawkeye because he knows better. After the event of the Avengers, and they make a joke, blah ha ha. Oh, I'm dumb. I've done the mind control thing. It's not my style, or some shit like that. But but we needed to see more of that because the only 1940s style stuff we've been getting from Marvel has been Agent Carter, and Agent Carter's fine, but I mean. Yeah, I like the outside view of 1940s where Steve is like, hey, I'm in the 2010s. This is my past life. I'm over 70 years old. Probably 100 years old at that point. Or maybe 90 years old at that point. And you can look back and have an entire scene. I wanted that entire scene to happen. But it's just uses horror images. So I'm like, oh no, I want to see that so we can get there's greater consequence when he gets pulled away. Where he's I want to have a scene where Cap is on the ground crying or something like that. That'd be great. Because he comes off too stocky. Well, I left that life behind. But when you get a glimpse of your past life, you're always like, hey, I like that life. Or something. I'd hope Captain America would be like that. With Black Widow, you needed. I want to see a Black Widow movie. I'll get to this later, but we need to see more of that Red Room. I don't feel like her character's fleshed out enough. All we've really known about her is that she's sterile, that she went into a room where she learned to be an assassin. And you get a little bit more of an Agent Carter, but not a lot. You just get children trafficking or whatever. And there's Reddit on a ledger. But we never get the fact of, hey, who the fuck is she? What is her purpose here? Why isn't she off killing Spider-Man? I almost said Superman, but or no, that's Silver Sable. I'm sorry. But they're kind of similar. I mean, Silver Sable is basically the older version of Black Widow. Let's be honest, because they've got the same kind of story, ish. They're kind of the same type. Um, Also, I want to know, what did Bruce Banner see that made him fucking Hulk out, like, you know, like, go ape shit insane? Did he see, like, him killing an entire country? Did he see him, like, killing everyone he's ever cared about? What did he see? We need to see that. And you can even show us in Thor Ragnarok, because I know he's going to be in there. Um, Also, I want to know what's happening with Black Panther. We see Ulysses Claw, but we don't know his story. So, does Black Panther happen before or after Age of Ultron? I'm assuming after, since he's in Captain America Civil War and he's confirmed. I don't know if this is confirmed, but it's confirmed in my mind that Captain America Civil War takes place after Age of Ultron, of course. But Black Panther's been doing things before Civil War, possibly, maybe, or at least been training for the Black Panther mantle. Um, because you see him in the suit, and he's like so natural. That's just a hunch. I just want to know what that Black Panther timeline looks like. Also, I mentioned earlier about with Ultron, and my issues with the Age of Ultron subtitle. Is the Iron Man connection. I want you to expound on this, because I want to. Maybe this is a sadistic thing for me, but I want Tony Stark to be the bad guy. I want him to be the fucking baddest guy. I mean, because in the comics, I don't know if you've read A Demon in the Bottle, but he is dark. Tony Stark is dark. He's not this ha 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 person you see on screen. He's dark. He's dealt with alcoholism. You see, they attempted it in Iron Man 2, but if you went too far down the rabbit hole, RDJ would just be like, okay, I've dealt with this before in actual life. This might be too dark for me. But, I mean, this was part of Iron Man 3 that I actually really liked, what really worked, because Tony Stark was a villain. He was the worst guy on the planet, because he was doing things he wasn't supposed to be having. But he can also be like, hey, he still has his PTSD. He still has like a family to care about. He still has all these things. But Ultron is Iron Man's kid. He is Iron Man's kid. I don't know how many times I can explain that. And with the Iron Legion that supposedly just appear in this movie, like, he blew him up at the end of Iron Man 3 as a Christmas present to Pepper. But the thing is, also, what's happening to Pepper? We don't see her. Just, oh, she got a company room. But didn't she get, like, super fucking juiced? With Extremis? Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did. So how does he have the Iron Legion? Why does he have the Iron Man suit back on? What happened? Also, like, I feel like we need Iron Man 4 to explain this, but, I mean, Iron Man, Ultron's kid. I'm going off on tangents, I'm sorry. Iron Man is Ultron's kid. Expound on that. Like, with the kid with Iron Man's in the church, the Iron Man. Make people be like, yeah, you had that scene with Claw where it's like, that's some, like, Stark used to say. You're just Stark's kid, aren't you? I don't know if that's a good accent for that guy, but, not Claw, but, Andy Serkis. Not a good accent for him, because it's like, it seems like you're doing two dialects. They were doing South African and, UK English, which is the original English, but whatever. But I want to know, like, Iron Man, you get into that head of, you fucked up, Iron Man. You fucked up. And also, like, what happened with Iron Legion? Seriously, like, these guys Iron Legion back. What the fuck? Did you just... You're just writing away everything. It doesn't seem right. Also, I want to see more Hawkeye. If this has to be through a Netflix series, I know he's talked about it, the wanting to do a Netflix series. I don't think it would work. Um, or a movie, like a Matt Fraction-esque movie, that'd be great. And actually, you could even film it that way. Um, Cell shaded and all that. You'd have to do a lot of effects work to make Hawkeye look like that. But I'd like something looking a bit different than the realistic look. I'd actually like it to look a little bit more like a comic book, a little abstract. You could even release an animated movie and make it canon and be like, here's Hawkeye doing shit, and he's voiced by Jeremy Renner. There you go. Because I mean, we get the farm scene, we get, hey, he's got a family, we get all that, and it feels like, oh, we want to do more of that, but we've got a villain to beat, so let's go. And speaking of the villain, why does Ultron think Vision is his prize? What made him think of Vision as a perfect body for him, the Ultron Prime? And also, like, did he think that... Like, I'm confused on this point. Why is Ultron so possessive of Vision? Like, did he, like, dig into his deep memory banks and be like, oh, I want to build that. That's something that looks pretty cool. Let's do that. Okay. But you keep talking about this is your Vision, this all protecting being. It doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know what to say, but you think this purple dude's gonna be like this alien looking dude, this Martian Manhunter looking dude is gonna be like, oh yeah, they're gonna look up to the skies and hope. But then alien, no. A lot of people down south would disagree with you on that one, Ultron. Also, getting to my final points. Hype Infinity War. I can't stress this enough. You're getting to 4 out of the 6 stones, maybe 5 at this point, with Doctor Strange, and probably, what would be a good time one? I keep trying, because here's the Infinity Stones we've got so far, based on the Age of Ultron featurette. We've got the Tesseract as the Space Stone, the Ether as the Reality Stone, the Orb as the Power Stone, and Loki's Scepter Stone as the Mind Stone. So we've got 4. And then we'll presumably have 5 in Doctor Strange, the 5th one, which will be the, not Mind Gem, the Soul Gem. I think that's going to be the 5th one. And then the 6th one will have to be in Infinity War, I mean, Part 1, because they have to have something to get. And they even call it MacGuffin. But I want Thanos to be a ever-present guy instead of just this guy in the background doing things. I mean, we've seen him in all the movies that we've had stones. We've seen him in the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Age of Ultron. So 3 out of the how many movies? Let me look. 3 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Out of the 11 movies, we've seen 3 or 4 times. That shit's gotta stop. Like, you can have him show up in every film. Don't feel like you have to hold back. So hype that, please. We're getting really close to it. I mean, I know you want to have your Civil War, but come on. So I have 3 more points I want to get to real quick. While the sun is shining in my face, it really hurts because it's right in my cornea. I want 3 movies to happen. I want a Hulk movie. I know this can't happen because Universal owns the distributing rights, but you could probably strike a deal with them where they'd be like, "All right, we'll let you make another Hulk movie, but we get to distribute." I think they'd be fine with that, right? They did it with Incredible Hulk, so you gotta think that they'd be fine with it now, or hope they would. Um, so we need a Planet Hulk movie. Stat. I don't agree that Hulk should be in a Thor movie. That doesn't make any goddamn sense to anything in the world. Um, it really doesn't. Because Hulk, how is he getting to space? Like, how? It doesn't make any sense. We need a Planet Hulk movie stat because we need a solo Hulk movie, and Planet Hulk's the only movie I can think of that would actually work with Hulk on his own because it's Hulk, not Bruce Banner anymore, that's doing all the cool stuff. Um, like I said, we need a Black Widow movie to kind of explore what her origins are. And I know Kevin Feige said we're not doing any more origin movies. What's Doctor Strange done? What's that, man? What's Guardians of the Galaxy? What's like? Don't say you're not doing origin movies. You are. Do a Black Widow movie. Enough people want it, and we need a strong female presence on screen. That's not like I'm always picking up after you, boys. um, it comes off as cheesy and disingenuous, and frankly, sexist, especially when you didn't have any toys of her. Seriously, what the fuck? Um, and then lastly, my idea for a new movie would be the new Avengers. And this would have to come before Captain America Civil War. I know I can't change the schedule, but we need to see the new Avengers fail. We need to see Scarlet Witch, Vision, War Machine, Captain America. I think that's the new Avengers, right? Um, or and whoever else. Um, we need to see them fail. Oh, Falcon. Um, Forgot about that guy. We need to see that guy fail. We need to see all of them fail and start Civil War that way. In fact, you could even do this in Civil War. If you don't want to make a movie, you could be like, here's 5 minutes of New Avengers on their very first mission. They fuck up. They blow up the UN. Um, and this is why shit has gone so bad. But I would actually like a new Avengers movie because I'd like to end it with them failing, like them doing all this really cool stuff and not really having a villain per se to chase. You could even have Baron Zemo in that. You could have him or Helmut Zemo or whatever he's called in the new movie. Um, you could have him be in there and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do something bad," and then he flips the switch and people die, millions die. And we need to. That's the thing that's missing from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's no sense of failure. Even in Age of Ultron, they're like, well, you can vaporize the city. Ant-Man, it's like, you could just suck the PIM technologies through a wormhole or some shit. Sciencey shit. But, like, there's no real sense of failure. There's always a way out. And that seems a bit too convenient for what they're trying to pull off. Because Infinity War, they shouldn't have a way out. I think people should die in that movie. I think Iron Man should die in that movie. Just saying. It would have the most emotional impact for the viewers, because we've known him the longest. Then have Hulk die, and then have Captain America die. Have all of them die in part 2, and then just be like, New Avengers Assemble. And you can even call the new Avengers movie Avengers Assemble. We've already got a TV show called that, and it seems to be doing quite well. But anyways, those are my thoughts on Age of Ultron. It's a bit a year too late, but I'm gonna go before the sun burns out my eyeballs. So until next time, keep it classy.